to Z. Okay, so because a lot of us have decided that we were not going to like give y'all no full review for no damn Love and Marriage Huntsville, so I didn't make any
Oh
notes for
my
it.
god. I
Um,
didn't take notes either.
like nobody got time for that. So we're gonna go through that quickly, and then we're gonna get into Love and Marriage DC trailer before we get to Real Housewives of Potomac. Just so
Okay.
y'all, that's how we're gonna run it. Okay. So the thing for me from the Love and Hip, I'm a child, not Love and Hip Hop. Hi, they'll be mad if they heard me say that, child. It is a slip of the tongue. Okay. Love and Marriage
Not if,
Huntsville.
when they hear you say that.
Okay, listen. If when they're gonna be mad, and they're always mad. I thought she was already a member. Thank you for becoming a member again, Claudette. So main things from Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion show.
Hmm.
Destiny and Mel go back and forth. Everybody acts like Mel was to blame for Madani. It wasn't really Miss Wanda. Mel is the one that, insinuated the situation by showing up to an event she wasn't invited to. We found out that Tiffany was pregnant. We already knew that. Tisha's comment during the scene where she was like storyline, like it would to me it was just, and then after listening to interviews that Destiny has done, because we're going to get this main conversation is going to be about Destiny's interview with Anthony Lofty's. Okay, that's going to be the main focus of our conversation about them. But I wanted to mention some things from that, because I was like, it sounds like y'all all had the same conversation. Y'all are all using the same language, the same words over and over again. And she did that. Destiny did that on the reunion show, as well as in this interview with Tisha, this storyline shit. Mel has never needed to use any of y'all for a storyline. I don't know where y'all get that from, but that's
Mm.
like real weird to me. I think y'all are only saying that to gaslight everybody that's been saying y'all use Mel for a storyline this whole time. So like that's a nice try, but not good enough. Carlos crying. What did y'all think?
I start smiling.
Crying on
Jamie,
what?
what you think?
Crying on what part? The part about Martell? Wasn't he
Yes.
crying about
Martell.
Yes.
something else?
Yeah. Not about Kimmy and his mom. That's understandable. We get that. We don't even need to discuss that.
Him crying about Martell, that whole scene for me kind of made me almost get teary eyed, because it not only was Carlos crying, but Mel was crying as well. So I just took it as, we see one thing of Martell from how we watch the show, right? What we see, what he may show us on social media. The relationship that he has with Carlos may be completely different than what it is that we see. So Carlos feeling connected to more information than we have, and having a relationship with Martell, and him crying, I was like, okay, maybe he knows some stuff that we may not know because of their relationship, which is why he's crying. I don't know. That's just what I thought about it. I feel like Martell wasn't being really honest, and I wasn't understanding why he just went like, I miss you, Mel. I mean, it ain't gonna change
He
nothing because
did
she ain't
do that
coming
though.
back.
Almost.
Yeah, almost, right? And that's what Carlos was trying to tell him. Like, say, I miss my family. Don't say that. Because then it's like you
Hmm.
still trying to kind of like dismiss it and not truly acknowledge your feelings and stuff. But I mean, I ain't mind it too much. I was just like, okay, he probably knows something. What y'all thinking?
I thought it was just me feeling that way, but I'm laughing because when I was doing my review and I got ready to talk about it, majority of the comments was like, "Ah, Carlos, he doing this, he going for us." It was funny to me, but I really did think it was genuine. But I kind of hesitated because I thought about how in the previous seasons he would get to the reunion and he would ask male questions like, "Oh, did you feel like you were enough?" or things like that. But I don't think he did that because he was truly against her. I think he did it because he knew it would make great TV. So
Mm.
the part of me is kind of just like, how do I know that two things can't be true? He feels this way about Mel and Martell, but he also want to make great TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I what made me sad was Mel sad because I know that she was crying, but she's crying because she's thinking about what it used to be. Martell used to be that guy that like she's literally mourning him as a loss. He's not the same person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I said it was an unfavorable reunion for her because in that same moment when Carlos, came off of that crying scene, she circled back to I never thought in a million years I would have kids with somebody who I don't even like. So it was like, ooh, like damn, gut punch. We just had a vulnerable moment, and you still like, yeah, fuck that man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, it's like Wouldn't you keep that same energy? Because if you think about the person who he used to be, which is this person that she loved, the person that she's mourning, and
Mm-hmm.
now the person who continuously wants her to suffer because she left him, I feel her on that. Trying to take the kids. So the scene with Carlos, I think, was he really felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when Mel came back around, like, I don't like that man. At the time, I was like, damn, but that's because I'm using my brain and how I would manage my relationships with normal people. Martell,
Mm-hmm.
we can't apply that same logic to what we see with Mel and Martell.
Mm.
I feel like, okay, so first of all, I'm seeing a lot of people are pointing out that there is something to be said about Martell blowing up at the reunion, but they cut it out. It happened during the
Mm-hmm.
break, missed it. And that was the reason why he was emotional, because he was responding to Martell completely losing his shit. And I this is the thing for me. I feel like Carlos I think I think Martell is attractive. And I think when somebody is charismatic and attractive, people want to see them.
Miss.
People people want
I
to
didn't know where we was going. I didn't know where we was going.
no, because I'm trying not to say what I want
I
to
was trying to
say.
put
I
my
know what
seatbelt
she's gonna
on.
say. I know what you're
Okay,
gonna
I'm gonna just
say.
say it then. I feel like because you want fuck son, it's easy for you to see him as a victim. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I think Martell is attractive to a lot of people, and I think Carlos' response to Martell is much like the women that think Mel is so stupid because she wasn't, sticking around to be hurt by this fine ass man. Because she should just be lucky that this fine ass man was there taking care of the kids and all of this shit. Let him have his little girlfriend. Let him cheat in peace. Like, this is how y'all feel. A lot of you gay men feel like that about women too. Y'all have that attitude of let the man cheat in peace and let him do what he gonna do. You want to be with him, be with the man. Like
Mm.
y'all have a very side chick mindset about these niggas. Like, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. And I think whenever Mel is, having this air about herself, like I'm better than this shit and he didn't deserve me, there's always somebody like Carlos or somebody that wants to like knock her down a few pegs, therefore questioning,
Mm.
would you really have chosen Mel if you had met Ariane first? That was a completely disrespectful question. Then asking Mel, do you think you were enough for him? When Mel circled back around this time and said nothing would have ever been enough, I wish she would have said that the first time, because essentially nothing would have ever been enough because Martell is wounded. Martell is wounded by whatever Marlene and that daddy did. And he looks for, and a lot of men do this because they didn't get the love and nurturing from the mothers or the people in their lives like they were supposed to. They look for that in their women. And when the women don't acquiesce to that, now the woman is the bad guy because she's not parenting me. She's not mothering me like I want her to. And I just kind of feel like everybody just expects Mel to go along because it makes everybody feel comfortable. And I think she's at a point where she's refusing to do
They want
that.
her to do easy for them.
And when Carlos, yeah. Listen, somebody here, look,
Yeah.
as a gay man, Bondi, I agree. Listen, I don't mean to hurt nobody. I'm glad you agree. I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings, but it always gives you just you like that's where you at with it. You're attracted to him, you want him to like you, and because of that you are willing to see him as a victim in his own villainhood. Like, he perpetrated this thing. I haven't seen anybody
Hmm.
cry for Mel. That's why I said I'm gonna do that compilation. I'm
Mm-mm.
because I haven't seen anybody
Nobody.
cry for Mel.
Mm.
Nobody cries
Mm-hmm.
for Mel when
Nobody.
but y'all want to sit
Mm.
there and cry because Martell fucked up his family. He's not even crying
Yeah.
about it. And y'all are
Say
crying about it.
that.
Mel is not crying for the same reason that Carlos is crying. Let's be clear. And that's
Say
another thing. When
that.
she was crying, I felt she was crying because she probably still loves him. She wishes
Yeah.
he was the person that she thought he was. But every
Hmm.
time, and then this is another thing I want to go back to because everybody dismissed what she said. The nigga is trying to take her kids from her.
That part.
How you want her to be nice? How you want her to care about his feelings right now? This nigga's trying to take my kids from me, and I just took him on a vacation, him and his mom, with my kids on my dime, and he's now telling me that I don't have enough to take care of my children. So he want to take
Hmm.
them from me?
Hear
Y'all,
me
I
now.
don't.
And then said she got too many people watching the kids, but went to Destin and said he'll trust, or whoever he was talking to, it was either in Destin or when he was talking to Destiny. He said he trusts Mel's judgment when it comes to choosing another mate. So if you trust her judgment with that, why you not trusting her judgment when it comes down to who watch y'all kids? And if now he coming to his social media apologizing, saying that or at least he didn't apologize. He said he's already apologized a lot. So my thing is, if you feel extremely sorry or whatever the case is, I think he could have apologized again. My question was, are you going to take the full custody off the table now, since you're so sorry and you're regrettable for, your actions or whatever? Are you going to remove it? What's going to happen?
Situations like what we've seen Kimmy treat Martell the same way Carlos did on the stage also. That's the reason why he will never fully recover from who he is today. He won't recover from that because people feel bad for him because people used to women just like punishing and then going back. And now that Mel like, nah. People mad. They're mad at her.
I wish Mel would.
But it's low key the same thing in all her relationships. They mad at her because she doesn't, do what's easiest and continue to be friends with people at the drop of like something feel funny. I'm not fucking with it.
True. So with that being said, we can move on from there. I did, feel like Tisha annoyed me, but she always does because she has these little moments where she makes comments that just are so stupid and not true. And it's just like, girl, and then you have this like contempt about it. Like, girl, she just trying to use you for a storyline. Like, girl, get the fuck out of here. Because Mel, it has a dark soul and she's what she said, a devil in sheep's clothing. It's like, bitch, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, to be specific. So thank you. But also, bitch, like if anybody knows about a dark soul, it's Wanda. And that's what I think, and that's what I can't stand. Like, bitch, your mama has like, I don't even like the way your mama treats you, bitch. And you don't even see. Like, you want to talk about Mel, stop projecting. Fadisha, thank you for the super chat. Mel's words were the truth. When you have that type of marriage, it creates a large Dane. By the way, she is not stupid for leaving. It was essential for her and the kids' peace. I mean, we saw what was going on. Martell wasn't gonna stop cheating. He was just trying to find better ways to get away with it. And that lady said, I'm tired. Like, I don't understand, why everybody feels like she's supposed to stay and just deal with that shit. But moving on. Destiny did an interview with Anthony Lofties. Okay. And for the sake of, enjoying this live, I'm going to pull this shit up and we're going to watch just a little snippet of his interview. Shout out to Anthony Lofties. I'm gonna pull him up so y'all make sure y'all go and support him because y'all know I can't stand motherfuckers acting like because you pull their stuff up on YouTube that you trying to steal their content and all of that, which I don't think he would do that, but I'm just saying. Make sure
I don't think he'll do that.
Okay, so hold up. Let me, because I want to make sure I pull up the right one. Okay. Right around 22 minutes, I think, is when things might have got a little interesting. Okay. I'm about to share my screen with y'all. Okay.
I think it started with the coffee shop scene, the ambush of being called a liar. And then
so she said, I just want to stop right there because I missed that the first time. Did she say that her and Mel's relationship started to go downhill at the coffee shop?
Yeah, and she called it an ambush. That's why my whole face kind of turned. It looked like it was a scene where y'all agreed to meet at the coffee shop, and now it's an ambush.
And she knew what she was coming there for. So if y'all haven't talked since the reunion, and it's like y'all first meet up, you knew what you was coming there for. So what do you mean ambush?
And she was already mad about she wasn't invited to the what was it, y'all? The Christmas party, the Christmas slumber party.
Yeah.
Wasn't she mad about that before?
That's when she started saying Mel was a bad friend because she reached out. I think they talked about something after the incident with her and Tisha, but then the very next week or a few weeks later, I believe that's when the party happened. And that's when Destiny started to refer to Mel as like a best friend. I'm sorry, a bad friend or something.
Okay, so let's listen some more to Anthony.
This whole narrative and storyline of me talking about her behind closed doors. And then, the social media stuff, it just was a culmination of a lot of things during a time in my life where it was like, I don't need nothing else, especially when it's not even real.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
the coffee shop when she actually read you the text messages between you and her?
Yeah, some of the text messages she read between us. Yeah.
Okay, so what was it that we didn't see?
Out to me. I never said that we text. That was accurate. I said that on the stage at the reunion. What I said is we haven't spoken to each other. And so the text read, "Hey, are you disconnected from the world?" Because hey, I don't have a problem with somebody disconnected, but I'm just checking on you. And I didn't hear anything back for like over a week. And then it was like, "Hey, are you okay? Or are you good?" And then it was communication maybe a day or so later. So it was like, don't act like I was just like bombarding you. I was just trying to make sure you was good. If you were setting a boundary or you needed space, I was good with that. I'm just checking on. That's what normal people do. So yeah, that's what y'all. I don't
like that she does that. Like that's what normal people do. Like stop trying to act like you are a better person than Mel because you handle situations in a certain way. And that's another thing I noticed when everybody was arguing about Mel putting it out there that she gave her money. It's like, why does that? First of all, nobody felt like you were thirsty in all of this and you just needed Mel because you needed help during your divorce. Nobody felt like that. You made that up in your mind and then proceeded to act towards Mel as if she had actually done something to you. I'm trying to find, because there's a portion where he pulls up actual clips.
Because we were all using the word resource. She said the word resource at the reunion. It's so funny to me whenever I hear like the same language being used coming from the reviews to the stage. But we didn't know what the situation was. We just saw how thirsty she was to cling on to Mel when she was like, "Let me be part of your village." And when everybody starts saying resource, she started sharing all her insecurities.
And speaking of which, when I keep, because she did this at the reunion, that's what normal people do, or that's what real women do, or whatever.
Yeah.
It grinds my gears, and I'm not gonna be too mean with this. It's just like when we want to talk about what normal people do, normal reality stars actually share their life when they come on there too.
Bloop.
They do. And if you want to talk about what real women do when it came to you and Stormy, let's not overlook how Stormy practically begged you for your friendship, because that's what it was, because you weren't at that place to give it to her. So at what point was it when it was something that real women do? At what point did it become that?
Never.
So I guess you would say that Stormy was the real woman in that situation.
I mean, it
Not
felt
even
that
Stormy,
way.
But when we play this, I do kind of want to go to DJ Richie Sky's video, if you don't mind, Bondi, with Carlos, because towards the end, he said he not playing with people no more. And it is making me think that Destiny is either not coming back to the show or she's going to be in a very limited capacity like Wanda. I don't know, but that's the vibe.
Okay, so we gonna send me the link, please, Jamie, in the DM so I can pull it up quickly.
Yeah, I try to give you the timestamp too.
I gotta turn the sound on because every time you do it, I can't see it.
So we about to run this because this was my favorite part.
Because he don't want it. He want his cake and eat it too. I love Tell. That's my boy, but you can't keep doing that.
Because at the end of the day, it's the kids.
It
like,
is.
you have to think about the kids.
Yep, I do. The Martell Show. Your pain is yours, and you bring it up, and then you lash out.
Yeah. So let me go back because I want y'all to hear the question. I'm sorry.
And they, brought it over.
Okay. All right. Do you regret getting in the middle between Martell and Melanie's relationship, even though you were friends with both of them during the time?
Do y'all really feel like I got in the middle of their relationship?
Do you regret getting in between them a little, like just trying to get everybody to come together?
No, because that's what friends do.
All right. So I want to play a small clip, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about it.
Play a small clip here.
I gotta turn the sound on because every time you do it, I can't see it.
Yeah, get your audio right, Destiny.
Because he don't want it. He want his cake and eat it too. I love Tell. That's my boy, but you can't keep doing that.
Because at the end of the day, it's the kids.
It
like,
is.
You have to think about the kids.
Yep, I do. The Martell Show. Your pain is yours, and you bring it up, and then you lash out.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. You're very passive aggressive with her, and then you know she's gonna react. So then it turns into the same.
Watch y'all gonna react. What y'all said last?
Y'all trying to give me a damn drink, and y'all in here yelling and fighting. When Mel and Martell are going at it, I typically zone out because it's a lot of you did and I did it. So I don't know. Like, I just really, my goal is to separate them, which is a job. It was real interesting because she said you're friends with my ops, Martell and Tisha, and you and Martell talk on the phone every day. I said, good and damn well I'm talking to Martell every day.
Right.
When did it begin where you and Mel fell out? Because when you first came onto the show, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, okay, I'm cool with this. I can deal with her. What
That smile, she hot.
exactly happened for that friendship to basically start just to diminish?
I want to go back to why did we play those clips?
Because it shows you going back and forth.
Oh, okay, being a bodyguard. Okay. Now, what was your question?
What exactly
like, come on.
exactly happened for you and Mel's friendship to diminish?
I think it started with the coffee shop scene, the ambush of being called a liar. And
okay, so that's how we got there. Now, y'all can watch the rest of this man's interview for y'allselves, okay? Because he did a really good interview. He was pulling clips in from every which way, okay, to prove the inconsistencies in the way Destiny responds to things. We've asked her over and over again in our interview what the issue was with Mel, and we could never get like a specific thing. And that's the thing. She couldn't even give us a specific thing for real in this interview or on a reunion, but then she'll like pull something out where I feel like it's not really, it's not really what it is. She make it seem a certain way. Like I pointed out how when somebody asks her a question, she'll rephrase the question and then answer the way she rephrased it versus answering the question that was asked of her.
Yeah.
But I'm about to go to Carlos. So y'all tell me what y'all think about
Like what
that.
she said, bodyguard.
But what did y'all think?
Oh yeah, I agree with you. She did that whenever she said, "Why'd you show the clips?" Oh, me playing bodyguard. Like you show the clips to prove that I was being a bodyguard, not necessarily acknowledging the fact that he just said, "How do you feel about being in the middle?" That's what the clips was for. It was so many other times I thought of that actually, I'm sure he didn't have the time to capture, but still. Another question that came to mind, they showed her in Martell's apartment in that scene. I wanted to ask y'all where Martell got the space for 5 kids if he planned on getting full custody.
Help me.
It sounds like he really don't want full custody. It sounds like he really just want to troll.
Interesting. I didn't hear everything that she said, but I will say this. Watching Destiny do different interviews over the past year or whatever, I think I see or I have a clear-eyed view as to how difficult she is when it comes to production. And I'm sure I've said that before. It did seem like she didn't really want to do the interview. And it's like it doesn't necessarily help your brand. Like if you don't have to do them. You don't. I do think that Destiny has been through a lot in her life. I'm sure she's probably really like for real, outside of the TV show. She might be like a really cool, dope person. But I really think she might, if she's not coming back to the show at this time, if that is something, I think she needs to like really go and get the healing and just like really work on whatever she needs to work on, because oftentimes it's like it's one thing for people to say, oh, that's how it is when that's how they edit it. That's how they edit it. But then when you do your lives, you do these interviews, it's given the same type of energy. Like I don't know. It seems like you just I ain't gonna put that label on her. Just go do the work is what I'll say. Go do the work.
Because it's giving you need the floor. When you work in a fast food job and you kind of just standing there wasting time, pick up a mop.
Yeah. I hate that. It's not giving what she thought.
Okay, so I just
tell us your luck.
I just posted.
You said good luck.
Good luck. Listen, thank you for that. We about to play Carlos' part. But I have started. This is the link. Okay, it's in there because y'all act like y'all can't just look at the YouTube and see who it is. They're talking about who is it? It's on the screen, baby. Just rewind it and you'll see it. Y'all kill me, but I know y'all be like low key trying to insinuate that we don't want to give people their credit for their videos. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and put that link in there. Stop playing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull up. Let's go ahead and pull it up because Carlos said what now?
Where do you see Destiny going next season with?
Okay, so do we see that this is DJ Richie Sky's YouTube page? This is DJ Richie Sky's YouTube page.
Her now telling us that she's going to be an open book.
Well, look, I think Destiny has to live up to what she says and give that to the audience. And one thing about me, I welcome my cast to be an open book. But I also know that sometimes time may not be on your side, or sometimes you really in your own life may not be ready to do that. And I respect that. One thing about me and my relationship with my cast, we don't force them to talk about stuff. You know, one thing I do say to them though is you did sign up to do a reality show, show your reality. And I think that's because we all have a job. It's sort of like being a telemarketer and you show up to work saying, child, I don't feel like calling these folks today. I don't feel like doing it. Your boss would say, but this is your job. You can't get away saying, child, I ain't got time to tell her or market, I'm tired. You will get fired on the spot, right? What bothers me is people take advantage of being on a reality show. So you mad that we're the production, we're asking you to show your real life. You say to us, I don't want to show that. And that's why I was so compassionate and passionate about Kimmy. You have a woman who's going through breast cancer, chemo, stood on that stage for 15 hours, Richie, never once asked for a break, never once said, do you mind if I go back to the room to take a nap? Because I would have done anything she wanted because I would have understood. My mom passed from breast cancer. I know that sometimes you're tired. You get sleepy when you're going through chemo, especially. I would have given Kimmy anything she wanted. Richie, she never once asked for anything. She did not complain. How dare any reality star moving forward complain about giving their real lives? Kimmy set the gold standard of how a reality star shows up and gives what they're able to give. And I'm telling you, Kimmy changed my perspective on reality television in the sense of I'm not playing with people anymore. I'm at the point in my career where it's a privilege to be on a Carlos King produced show, which is why my DMs are flooded that I haven't even distributed. I can tell you 95% of former and current reality stars beg me to give them a show. And I'm not saying that to sound cute. It's a lot of blue checks are in my DMs begging for me to take them off the current
it's
show
real.
on mine.
It's real, Carlos.
Because what they notice is Carlos loves his cast. And he makes sure that your businesses are at the forefront. And he makes sure that whether or not you have a messy life, we're going to show the messy life, but we're also going to make sure that you are able to tell it your way and do it in a way that also promotes your business. And that's the reason why I'm at this point in my career where I'm not begging anybody anymore to do their job. If you don't want to do it, then bow out gracefully. And allow other people on the show to do their job. And don't cloud the production. Because the last thing I will say is 99% of the time, the producers and the crew members, that's the camera operators, the audio people, you know, Richie, you've been around production and been on a reality show.
I got to stop him because I got his point, but I need to check this before I forget. Even though I respect what he's saying about Kimmy, I feel like it's low-key bullshit. And the reason why I say that is because even though going through cancer on a reality show, I imagine it's so difficult. But I also feel like it's easy to show somebody I'm going through a sickness versus showing them that my new husband is still tricking and doing shit that I'm not really comfortable with and not treating me the best. Because let's keep it a buck. Before the cancer diagnoses, they weren't sharing a lot and they were doing the same shit the Scots were doing, the other Scots trying to keep shit on the low and not talk about things. So I feel like we're completely ignoring the fact that it is easier when it comes to face value, when it comes to how you judge somebody. Like this basically, you know, the way he talked about Kimmy now erases all of the years of being not so open with what's going on with you and Maurice. But now because she's showing, you know, her sickness and everything, now she's completely absolved. That's the reason why it's okay and easier for you to talk about that, because it'll overshadow anything else. So even though I appreciate her being honest and showing us this, I also feel like I would be remiss if I did not mention the fact that it's easier for you to talk about this than it is for you to talk about how Maurice treats you.
I actually took something different from that. I think you have I think your points are valid. I just think in this moment here, he was just relating that a woman has an illness and has not complained. You ain't got nothing going on, been on this season, and ain't even trying to give us nothing, but got the audacity
I
to
agree.
give production a headache. No, ma'am. So
I
I
totally
love
agree.
the. Yeah, I'm glad he eating. I said, dang,
Mhm.
you really gotta have Carlos fired up to even say any of this on this interview, because he usually goes around it. Just like last week, he did an interview and said, I won't name anybody, but he kind of explained the situation.
Yeah.
This time, he knew exactly. I mean, we know
Yeah.
exactly who he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's telling us that this person got mad. He wouldn't even give us that type of, like, just saying somebody got mad is enough to be like,
Right.
okay, yeah,
I mean, well, we
yeah,
saw
your
how she
days
was
are
on
numbered.
live. You saw
He
how
said,
she was
"Why is
on
there a
live.
pillow next to you instead of a man?"
He said what?
Ooh,
He said, "Why is there a
why is
pillow
that?
next to you on the stage instead of a man?"
Oh,
Ooh,
Shade. He said that's why only these six of you are out here on this stage. Shade. Like it's clear that he is talking about Destiny. I have to agree with the both of y'all. Bonnie, my first thought process. I mean, I understood what he was saying, Jamie, with the well, it's people out here with real shit going on, and you want to complain. I
mhm.
understood that, but in the same breath, when he was like, "Kimmy is the epitome of what a reality
Oh,
star should be,"
I agree.
I was taken aback as well because I don't know that her husband is currently cheating on her, but I think that he definitely is involved with whatever they got going, whatever the other men on the show have going on. And she tries her best to play on the defense for her husband when it comes to those conversations, even more than
Hmm.
he does. So yeah,
and she did that at the reunion.
Hmm. A lot. I agree. It's that epitome part, the epitome of a yeah,
Yeah.
nah, bro. Because let's be honest, neither one of the Scots was really given. I mean, they had the Kiowa situation in season one, a little bit season two, but especially that. And you know what's crazy? If you really look at it, in my opinion, although Scots 2.0 ain't really give us a lot, I feel like with the Cancer and the Kiowa, they gave us more than what 1.0 was giving us.
Oh
Because
yeah,
they
for
that's
have
true.
sure.
literally been riding off of Melody and Martell. So for Tisha to say a storyline, no,
Girl.
ma'am.
Okay.
No, you need to go
Shit,
back and rewatch your seasons.
Jamie, rewind. Say what you said again. Fuck, because something you said made me think of something. Oh yeah.
You
I'm gonna
got
sound weird. I'm gonna sound fucked up. I know. But something feels like when he said that about Kimmy, it was shade to Mel. Because if
Really?
anybody is the
mm,
epitome of a
mhm,
reality star being open and sharing their lives, and like, because if we think about it, Mel has been sharing this shit in real time. Back in the day, reality stars would film and tape and have a moment to like gather themselves before the shit comes out and air.
mhm.
The way
Mm-hmm.
they tape, she's literally
Film.
film, and then talking
No
about it
breaks.
as it's going on, being open with people and talk. I mean, at the very beginning of this, that was so hard to me, to be honest, about the fact that you get cheated on
Mhm,
again. That was so hard to be honest about. And at the very beginning, she laid that shit out on the table. And therefore, I think, forced a lot of shit to come out. They all said it, that Mel was the one that put a lot of shit out there on the table for herself. So nobody had to really go digging because Mel came and gave it all to you. So when he said that, even though it may not have been meant that way, I low key feel like it's a thing that I've noticed people like to do when they're trying to shade somebody, is uplift somebody else. It's a way to
mm,
make it seem like it's not shade to that person, but the person who is shade to knows that it's shade. I could be reaching, and I'm happy for y'all to say I'm reaching, but similar situations have taken place to make me feel like you can definitely be uplifting somebody and simultaneously shading another person. But that's just me
I didn't
being.
think about Mel. I think he just thought that Kimmy was a really good example for
for
the
Yeah,
you on
Destiny,
bullshit.
yeah,
She
yeah.
got,
No,
yeah, I didn't think
especially when
about
he
Mel.
talked about 15
yeah.
hours. When he said 15 hours and she didn't
15?
complain about anything, she's definitely a great example of somebody that's like gonna power through for you. But when it came to like that reality epitome of a reality show star thing, I'm just kind of like, Mel been spilling her own tea for years now in order to get y'all to this place. And she's not the epitome of that. I don't know. Just, that just, I don't know. I don't know. Felt a little something. I don't know. I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm fine with it. Latrice, thank you for the super chat. Destiny giving me exactly what I tell my coworkers. If you have time to lean, you have time to clean.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about. I'll never forget when I was in high school working them damn Sonics.
Bruh, that's hilarious. Esqui Hurt, thank you for the super chat. Destiny is going to try to sell us her trauma as a storyline. I'm not interested at this point. I don't like her making it seem as if the way people receive her on the show has been so terrible for her, because what she refuses to realize, even in this interview, I feel like Anthony kept trying to make her see your attitude is affecting your business. The way you talk to people is affecting your business. And the thing you're mad at Mel about is the reason why her businesses do well, because she knows how to like focus on what she needs to focus on and not let her bitter feelings, as everybody says, get in the way of opportunity. And I think it's a whole nother thing when you sitting up there letting your badass attitude, fuck you out of brand deals and all of that. Like, come on.
For sure.
Thank you, Fadisha, for the super chat. When will black women start wearing capes for sorry black men? Girl, I don't know, but that's what it feel like. That's what it feel like. But yeah, y'all, love and marriage Huntsville is the gift that continues to gift. So, of everybody that does give. Child, I'm appreciative of Destiny giving a terrible interview with that young man, because, girl,
He
I've
was
seen
ready
him
for her,
on
baby.
Mills Lives before. He does really good asking good questions and stuff like that.
Say that
yeah.
again, Nisi.
I've seen him on Mills Lives before,
Oh, okay.
and he does a good job asking the
Now
questions. He got a
see,
Oh,
good person.
good.
remember when
He
we was
asked the
talking
questions that
about
people want to know.
Destiny going to him because she thought that he would not have that energy with her, but he's been on Mel's live before, so it makes me wonder what she thought.
I think what she thought was she probably didn't know he'd be over there on Mel's Lives. I think that her doing, because it looks like she might be doing interviews. I'm not sure. But I want to believe she could be doing interviews with smaller YouTubers. I feel like, or just like YouTubers in general, because I feel like Mel did that same run. After Candy did that YouTuber run, I think Mel did it, and then now I think Destiny is doing it. But I feel like, my personal opinion, don't know if this is fact, but I feel like Destiny may be doing this series of interviews with YouTubers to likely show the network any relevance to probably bring her into film. Um,
Yes.
IDK, but that's just what crossed my mind. If people are saying in her latest live, she said that one, they're filming, and two, they haven't called her to film yet. And then you're hearing Carlos say in one interview, we were rooting for you. The key word for me was were. And then now we're hearing him on this part saying, he's not playing with people no more. You need to bring that to the front. It sounds like you're gonna be limited or you finna be out.
Mm-hmm.
And
She
she
might
needs to
have
be
to
able
pop
to
up on.
show
I think
the
limited.
relevance. Mm-hmm.
And I
I can
think
see that.
the interviews are to help build up the more taping happening thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
Right, but she ain't talking about nothing in the interviews.
no, she not. And then she act like somebody's supposed to ask her about something else. Desiree, I love this comment. One thing Body gonna do is circle everything back to Mel. You know what, love? I accept that. You know what I'm saying? I accept that. I receive that. What? I'm in therapy. I received that. If
I'm
y'all
there.
feel like, because I'm trying to work on myself. So if y'all feel like I'm always like caping for her in a way that is, imbalanced, I apologize for that. I am working on myself. I do think too deeply into things. I do read too deeply into things. It's something that I do. It's low key why I'm good at this, but also why I can be a little bit too cynical. So I respect that if that's how y'all feel. But I also feel like if Destiny and everybody else didn't circle everything back to Mel at some point, then I wouldn't either. Essentially, I feel like the relationship between Carlos and Melody is a precarious one. I think they have a love-hate relationship. I think that she knows he does things to get a certain reaction out of her because it looks good on camera and shit. And I also, know that she's there to get that bag. So like, I feel like their relationship is an interesting one, in the way things happen on a reunion show always show me something about their relationship. So I might just be in that mind. So I'm sorry about that, y'all. But the last thing I wanted to mention before we move on from Love and Marriage Huntsville was Martell saying that he was needing $3,000 in order to be interviewed.
I was hoping you were gonna say something about that.
Yeah, Anthony Lofty said that when he asked Martell for an interview, Martell sent an email saying that he required $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony said he gonna pop that pussy for $3,000.
He
Yeah, he
did.
said
He
it's gonna be
did.
P Valley.
I'll be
Listen,
shaking some type of tail feather.
y'all, that's
Mhm.
ridiculous. Why would anybody pay for an interview from you? It is not that. First of all, you don't communicate effectively enough for somebody to pay $3K for an interview with you. How do I know you're gonna give? Like, how do I even, like? Come on, get the fuck out of here.
I would love to interview Martell. I think it would be funny. I think he would be nervous.
hmm I think any of
He
the
would be
men
I'm
nervous.
would
sure.
be
I
nervous
think he'll be
to
very
interview her.
nervous. But
He'll
yeah,
put a
no.
What our fourth member say?
he'll put a rack up.
No, put a rack up. Martell not getting any of my dimes.
And
I'm
not at all.
sorry.
Nah,
Not even a
I'll
little
buy a
bit.
bottle of wine.
Listen, I might listen. We might.
No.
If you could send us a bottle of wine and we could all, like, we could talk about it, and but that's if you
Yeah.
telling them, because you and Sheree got that in common. Y'all love putting some shit up, and we ain't heard nothing about nobody receiving no orders yet. Nicole,
Mm.
thanks for the super chat. Carlos' mom probably wasn't doing anything due to being tired from chemo. Therefore, Kimmy filming seems like a lot to him. Okay.
I don't think his mom went. I don't know. He
Yeah,
just
he
said she
said
did
his
everything
mom
in silence.
she had breast
Yeah, she had
cancer
breast
and she went through that, and that's why he was kind of relating that he understood like
cancer.
how Kimmy was feeling. So if she was tired or anything, he would have gave her whatever, because he had a direct experience with that, with his mom passing away.
I
Mhm.
just didn't know if his mom went through the chemo part because he said that she went through everything in silent and didn't go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
Oh.
like she was going through the same treatment as Kimmy. So I don't know. I mean, they both have a commonality where they both have breast cancer, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say it was the chemo part.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I did feel like all of his emotion about that was like really about his mom and shit. You know what I'm saying? I felt
Hmm.
that. SB, thank you for the super chat. Pay Martell $3,000 for him to say things of that nature for an hour.
Things of that nature. Or gotcha, gotcha,
Things
gotcha.
of that. It is. He do say that a lot. He do say that a
Yeah,
lot.
things of that nature.
He does say 20 a lot too. You got 20 girlfriends, you got
He
20
does.
babysitters.
Hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? He do
Yeah,
like
I'm not
that.
out here doing 20 interviews.
Right.
Right. Thank you, Kia, for the super chat. Why Martell charging for interviews reminded me of when Sheree was charging for pictures. Oh, probably
Yeah.
her idea. It probably was Sheree's idea. That is too funny. But
I
yeah,
thought it was
y'all, that's
Melnika.
listen. Or
I was
Melnika,
like,
is
this
she
sounds
still
like an
around?
email from Melnika.
Ooh, I wonder if they still cool, because after he tried to out her on TV, we ain't seen her since.
No.
No, we
She
haven't.
said
I don't know where she been.
she disappeared like that.
Oh, one more thing I wanted to point out, because that was funny. I feel
Mhm.
like when Mel pointed out how Martell collects friends just so he can have a moment where he could be like, see, I have all these friends, Mel. Like, I
Yep.
love that she said that shit, because that's exactly how I felt. And if he not cool with Melnika no more, like, I would love to hear, the situation, because, he's supposed to be the best friend ever. Y'all supposed to be friends forever.
Mm.
So I'd love to hear about, what
Shit.
happened.
They've
But
been filming, so they probably gonna drop another season in
April.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say May, and I was like, that's too far. Let me back up.
Oh,
I'm
girl.
excited.
This is
This
more
would have
interesting.
never went down if Monique was still here.
It wouldn't.
No.
Somebody would have been in there with the sage, like, we need a moment. We need a moment.
But it's funny that they kind of, I don't know if it's in this trailer or another one, they kind of referenced the Samuels getting a divorce. And I'm like, now why y'all gonna bring that
I
lady
hated that.
stuff up if y'all know she not on the show? Now why would y'all do
Hmm.
that?
I feel
You
like
know,
they saw our response to that first trailer and then put this one out after the fact, because that
Mm.
first trailer they put out was so trash and boring, and I didn't understand what we were supposed to get from that. This one looks way more interesting. Why would they not have put this shit out first?
I think people thought that. Well, I think they thought it was gonna be like a grab because they mentioned Monique and Chris, but it's been months since she popped on the internet talking about she's still married.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did want to say, what's her name? Joy, right? Joy in Clifton irritated me on Rated to Love, but when I seen her say to Ashley, "So you made me," I was like, "Oh, I might like her. I might like her on this show. I'm gonna have to watch."
I said the same thing. They
Me
showed
too.
a
You
quick
did?
snippet of the both of them. Like it's a separate video they just dropped. And I was like, dang, I might end up liking them. I mean, they look like they may fit. They may go together. They may work.
I might like them on this show.
I
Yes.
think
Some people
so. I didn't think I was gonna
cringing
like
at
her
it.
because I didn't like her, the male identifiedness on that other show neither. But the way she holding
Hmm.
herself on this one, it might actually be entertaining. I mean, Winter did say she was cool, so we'll see. But first of all, I want to point out how many times was Ashley gonna get into a fight during this season, because it looked like she got into it with everybody.
Girl, she fighting to be in charge of the girls.
You know
Feeling
it.
herself.
That's
Working
what we
nights,
said.
holidays, and weekends to get to shift manager to take Monique's spot.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, girl, I know she glad Monique gone.
That
So
shit
now she
was.
can get in the middle. But y'all notice how they split the middle between her and Winter. I
Yes,
said
Yeah.
these must be the main two that's going to be bringing a lot,
yes.
this
You seen in the
season.
preview when Ashley was at the book interview and they was asking her about Monique and she was like, "I don't give a fuck about Monique. This is my interview." Did y'all see
Oh
that preview?
I did not
no.
see that preview.
It was a preview where she was like, "This ain't about Monique. This is about me." Like she did not give a damn.
She was thinking, I wonder when that was recorded.
I
Mhm.
know.
I
I didn't
think
see that.
probably around the time when they was asking about the divorce.
Because when she did a live interview on her page, she was like, I don't know. I'm filming. I don't know what's up with Monique. And then maybe she just got tired by the time she filmed that portion and said, I don't give a. That's some messy
I think
stuff.
first of all, I love Winter with the ice blonde hair. It does
Oh
something for me in
God.
this
She was
picture.
great.
Yeah, the
Yes,
short
and she's
skinny
giving
face.
in the center of the photo, like absolutely giving. I'm here for it. It looks like Arena has a homegirl on the show, or Winter has a homegirl on the show, and then Ashley has a homegirl, and Ashley's homegirl and her get into it with everybody else. So that's what I understand of that
And two
situation.
homegirls look alike.
Yes, they
They
do.
said Joy put this picture up on her page, but she removed the two other girls,
I
Oh,
saw that. I saw that.
the two
shit.
standing up.
Nicole Thompson, thank you for the super chat. Can y'all touch on Stormy saying Destiny's not aggressive? Interesting in your opinion. Do we have to say that Stormy is a people
Uh,
pleaser and full of shit?
I agree with what Stormy said though.
I didn't even hear. When did she say that?
No, she said
Part
if
two.
she's aggressive, I'm aggressive. And yeah, y'all are both
Y'all
aggressive.
both? Yeah. When
Yeah.
need be, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I feel like
She said
Stormy
no
is
first
aggressive
though.
when need be. We've seen softer sides of Stormy's personality.
Yes.
Destiny approaches all situations the same.
Stank face.
Hmm.
But I also want to say, like, I feel like we all agreed that Stormy wants
Not
to fit
I.
in.
I didn't agree to that. I think you and Nisi
And
did.
Stormy what?
She wants
Mm-mm.
to fit in with everybody now.
Oh yeah, I agree to that
Oh, okay.
for sure.
You don't think she wants to fit in with the Scots and them now?
My verdict's still out. I think maybe next season, once I see it like really play out, I might change my mind. But I mean, I don't really see that yet.
So what did you think about the way she handled the situation with Destiny
Now
then?
that with Destiny, I did cringe at that because it's like, what is this desire for you to really want to be friends with this woman? I was a bit embarrassed that she sat on that stage, called this woman a friend, but that woman looked at you and said ditto.
It
That
wasn't just that for me. For me, it was the fact that she wanted everybody else to acknowledge what she had done for Destiny. Like she didn't only
mhm.
want the approval from Destiny and the forgiveness from Destiny. She was going over to the Scots. I got her a Gucci. I did. Like she still wanted that approval from the other cast members to say Destiny, just be her friend. So that was it for me. But I mean, I understand you like let me feel it out some more. but I'm in full agreement that she wants to be liked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm not saying it like she a bad person or anything. I still really like Stormy, but I just feel like the way she moved, especially with Destiny, was like a representation of her being a personality that wants to be well liked. And when she came on the show, she was being herself. And then everybody had this negative reaction to her being herself. And now I think she's people pleasing in order to get away from the way she came off to everybody at the
Yeah.
beginning.
I see what you're saying. It is, again, I have to say, questionable, because when she came on the show, she wasn't calling nobody no friend. Remember that?
No,
Not even
she
Tiffany.
was keeping it
Like, I
right.
don't
She was
really do
keeping it up.
friends. But
Yes.
then you get up there and you say that about Destiny, it is gonna make people kind of question you and feel like, what you got going on? Like, I mean, are you a people pleaser, as y'all mentioned? So yeah, that ain't no good look.
I don't think Stormy moves the way she wants, regardless of what the fans think. I think what the fans say greatly affected her, and I wish that it hadn't. I
Yeah,
think she
it
had a
did.
real, visceral reaction to people thinking that she is less than what she really is.
I didn't
Um,
think it was that deep either.
Me either. I didn't think she was gonna respond, like, because people gonna talk. That's what they do when you get on reality TV. They always gonna find something to hate on you about.
Always.
Especially if you
And it ain't
dismiss
no pleasing
yourself.
this audience. It's just no pleasing them. So you
Mm-mm.
just get in where you fit in and just be you.
Yeah, I think she's successful. I think she wants to be famous. I think she wants to use the show to catapult her business more. And I think in order to do that, she has to align herself more with the Scotts because they are the majority on the show. And she has more space to film with them because it's more of them to talk to. And then getting in cool with Destiny, I feel like was like some type of natural reaction to Destiny's personality. I think Destiny refusing to actually be nice to her made her want to try harder. Like that's what
Yep.
and that feels like a childhood type of thing.
Would we
Where
say that the same thing would apply to Tiffany?
what you
Yes.
mean?
Y'all think Tiffany's a people pleaser too?
On
Well,
some
hold on. I
level,
wouldn't say people pleaser because she
'cause
did show up shaking the damn table on some bullshit.
like 2 times.
I don't know if I would say she cares about people liking her. I don't
But being
actually.
that they're like the majority, like the Scots and stuff.
She did. I
Yes.
think she did do that eventually. It felt like that, but it was a little bit more subtle. Like we also didn't care that much, but we did notice. I feel like we called out when we started to see her like having these conversations about Mel with other people, and
And
we were like,
Martell
yeah, we was like, Mel not gonna like that conversation she just
and
had with
Destiny.
Martell. And we saw that, but nobody made a big deal out of it either. Like nobody really responded to it the same way that they do with Destiny or Stormy. But I feel like with Stormy, they had been trying to make shit happen even before anything was really happening. With like ever since the fight happened online, people have been like, well, why you wasn't down for your friend? Because everybody felt like it was Mel against everybody else. And I think that was misguided. They didn't know what the hell was going on. But yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
Have y'all noticed? Like, I feel like, okay, it's a few things in my head about this, but I'm gonna let us move on. Number one, it's always interesting to see the people trying to go back have a conversation with Destiny when Destiny is the one in the wrong, because I feel like Tiffany kind of did the same thing Stormy did, trying to have a sit down conversation with Destiny, and they eventually linked up and they learned things about each other. I feel like Tiffany operating with the circle the same way Stormy's operating with the circle. The only problem I see that Stormy had was over offering a Gucci bag to this woman. I think that, well, probably not the only, but one of the situations that I think people not letting go of is that, like, how she like, please, like, like, I'm like, let's talk. Like that whole little scene kind of like
Rubbed
messed her
everybody
up. So now
wrong.
people looking at you like, nah. So I see the subtleness you mean when it comes to like Tiffany, because we didn't see that part, and that's why I think Stormy messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, on top of her popping up at the reunion, and you could tell she was working overtime when the cameras left to get in cool, using the same language, same cadence. I think she's cool. I like Destiny a lot. Like Destiny and Tiffany be
Isolated
and
incident.
Destiny. Yeah, isolated incident. Destiny and Tiffany didn't come on the reunion like, oh, we love each other. Like we like each other a lot. I think Tiffany, and whenever you think about the scenes where Tiffany was discussing Mel, I feel like those are probably scenes where they're like, okay, discuss this with Martell.
Mhm.
Okay, discuss this with Destiny. I don't I think it's different. Tiffany and Stormy,
Tiffany's
I do think
drier.
that it's different. I think Tiffany's just annoying as hell, but I don't think
Yes,
that
that's
she
why.
has that same like me, please like me.
Yes, there's a like a softness that Tiffany doesn't have that Stormy has to me. So I feel like that's another reason why people didn't perceive it the same way. Because Tiffany's not going to give you that emotional thing. That's not her thing. Like
She's
that's
a very
dry kind
she's
of
like
yes,
a shrug your shoulders ass
yes.
person. Like, I don't know, bitch.
Mhm.
I don't give a damn. So
Exactly.
what they said? So
So
your
she
husband
didn't
was
make it.
sleeping with her. Like that's she just like one of those. Like I don't give a damn. But
Yeah.
Stormy is like I don't give a damn. But hey, wait. So but you know, but she
Yeah.
really do care. So
Yes.
but Tiffany, I think she stands more in her whatever. I said it. That's what
Yeah.
happened. Like that's how she is. So
That's what it gives to me. But yeah, so that was that on that, child. Now that we've done that, we did look at the trailer. The trailer for Love and Marriage DC does look interesting, child. We'll talk about it on here.